I should be live. Hello? Hello everyone? Can you hear me fine? Hi Gail, Blitzy. I will be your host for the first hour, and then I will get tagged out for irregular Gareth. I'll try and move my mic a bit closer. And I'll try and speak a bit louder as well. How's everyone doing? Let's just go ahead and put everything on. Sudden death. We got 25 rounds. Don't want Gareth to stay too late. We'll take off the Grim Reaper and Werewolf, because I don't find them very fun. Character selection's perfect. Oof, let's go with Dragon Tower. Take runestones off. I am very good, thank you, Gail Blitzy. Yes, it's been a very tiring day. 25 rounds is too low, or I'll take it up to 30. Go ahead and join us. Hello, Neo Gambit. Welcome to the chat. Again, let me know if you can't hear me very well. Just double checking we've got everything set up. So we're going to be doing a free code giveaway. Make sure you talk in the chat if you want the free giveaway, because that's the way to get it. Oof, 120 timeout. Alright, we'll move that down a bit to, let's go with 60. Oh, not rounds. There we go. And 60. Is it only going to be me and you, Cheshire Cat Girl, versus some AI? I had a look at some AI today, and I had a horrible I had this state where the AI was constantly doing something which was in its best interest, but unfortunately led the game to go on in an infinite game, because it was constantly doing a good thing, and that good thing was consistently was something that could go on forever and recurse. Yes, Neo Gambit, come on and join us. So you're trying to beat me for the first half, and then you've got to beat Gareth later. Hello, Free C. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Or is it Fricky? Or Frixie? Free Sit Si? Should be all the variations. How's everyone else's day been? Does anyone else want to join us before we start? Should we play with one AI? It's a sharp chi. Free chi. Free chi. Free chai. More like. It's pretty difficult to say. Sure. It's probably because I'm a bit too quiet compared to Gareth normally. The ETA for dragons, you mean? Awaken. Also, welcome to the chat. Oh, we'll give it another couple of minutes and then we'll start. Oh, thank you very much, Cheshire Cat Girl. Good evening, Geeky Chappy. Sure. Well, Dragons is a very big expansion. There's a lot to cover, and I'll take you through it as we start, if you'd like. The gist of it, to begin with, is we're playing with 3 Dragon Lords. They have several mechanics, and we'll sort of go through them as they pop up, because there's a fair amount of them. It's not a expansion for the faint-hearted or for the new, definitely for the experienced. The Dragon's programming goes very well, but very hard. There was a lot of bugs today which were very complicated. Yeah, we're making progress though. I don't think we're that far away. If that helps answer the person that asked before, when we're going to be looking to release, it's not very far away. I can't give an exact date, and there are reasons for that. But we're looking to see once people get back from holiday, and then it should be pretty soon. Just so all hands are on deck. Oh, I understand, Geeky Chappy. Right, I'll tell you what, we're gonna start now, unless anyone's got any complaints. The beta testers tell me that they're enjoying Dragons. I've had some one-on-one convos, and everyone seems to be enjoying it. When it's ready, coming soon. It's pretty true Neo Gambit. It's the typical dev deflect. I don't want to do it, but I've got to do it. Ooh, that's some good tea. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Better to have fewer players anyway with a small game, so we've got 30. Thieves Guild, though we do have a 30 round cap, so it won't go on that long. Yes, so I am Fomalhaut, so I get to choose between... we'll go with Goblin Rider because she's new. And for those that are new to Dragons as well, the Dragon Rider, whenever she engages a dragon in battle or psychic combat, she adds 3 to the attack roll. If she defeats them, she may capture them, take them as a follower instead of a trophy. You can only have one of those. And while you have the captured dragon, you may gain the following benefits. You roll for your movement dice, you add up to 3 to the score, and you may roll 2 dice in both types of combat. So she's pretty good once she's got the dragon. I just had it random, Cheshire Cat Girl. We're probably going to end the game using sudden death anyway. Also, I like random. I like rolling dice. Hi Lemmy, 85. Remember, if anyone's watching and they've not yet typed in the chat, the way to get eligible to the giveaway is to type in the chat and have a little convo with us. So we've already got it tracking people. So I will show you now we've got this new tab. We've redone the UI a fair bit as well. We've got 3 Dragon Lords. The one that's got this silver sort of overlay is the King, and that comes into play in a fair few mechanics. So to start with, at the start of your turn, you'll draw from a pool of dragon tokens. When you draw the dragon token, it'll pop up on the screen like this. Whenever you draw a token that's one of the 3 lords, like this, it will be placed on top of that lord. Now, there's a lot more mechanics. As I said, we'll take them one by one. I'll explain them to you as they happen. No one's destiny. All characters, no matter what, must discard their fate. That is brutal. Brutal. Right, so now we've got a Cadorus token, which will go onto the Cadorus card. Makes no sense when you want to show the Dragons expansion. You're right, Cheshire Cat Girl, it's my fault. I've got the new inner region, though. You know, that's something. So whenever we get 3 of these, the ending was Thieves Guild, which is, I believe, you get to the Crown of Command first, and then you roll a dice, and you start taking stuff from other characters. You cannot hold unlimited not roll jacks, and I think it's when you take something from someone and they don't have anything, they die. What characters? They must roll 1 die for these guys dead. All remaining characters. Game ends. Character with the most objects and gold wins the game. Right. So we've got 2 of these on Grillipus now. Now, when a dragon has 3 of their token on top of them, one of them gets placed on the space, one of them is, and the other 2 are discarded, and that dragon now becomes the new king. Not too late to start over. Oh, but I'm liking the. I'm already halfway through it. Cheshire Cat Girl. I don't know. You think you just want to re-roll your character? competitive as ever. Don't worry, as I said, the game will probably end through sudden death. As such, Thieves Guild is fairly appropriate. And I want to kind of keep it as vanilla dragons as possible. Especially if we've got someone new joining us in the chat. So as you can see, Grillipus has now become the king, and it changes around. There's several mechanics where where the Dragon King is in the front. So on certain ending types or in certain scenarios, you have to fight whoever the Dragon King is. I've got to be careful I don't roll lower than this guy, I believe. Sky Screecher. If your attack roll is lower than your craft, you are automatically defeated. That's right. And it is lower than my craft. So I'm automatically defeated. And I don't have any fate, so I can't reroll. Dragon King is usually the one you'll fight. That's a Dragon Strike token. When you draw that one, you draw 2 additional tokens. And we've got Varthrax and a Grillipus token there. So when, as you can see here, I said when someone is crowned the Dragon King, you place a token onto that space. When you move on to that space, you choose if you want to encounter the scale or if you want to encounter the space. If you encounter the scale, you draw a dragon card from that dragon deck, and every one of these dragon lords has their own deck. The Varthrax one being more strength and follower related, the Cadorus one being more object and a mix of strength and craft related, and the Grillipus one being craft and spell related. So when you draw from that dragon's deck, you're drawing something in that type of theme. When you defeat a dragon after encountering the scale, you get to take that scale, and then it's in your inventory. It'll be in there. When it's in your inventory, you'll gain 1 in combat when you're against a dragon from the same deck type. It's pretty cool. So that's the gist of most of the mechanics. That's a dragon sleep token. When we draw that, we can place it on a face-up enemy, or sorry, if dragon, or if there aren't any, a face-up enemy. Now, where's a face-up enemy that I'm supposed to be placing this on? Oh, it's on my space. Of course, it's a Sky Screecher. This will put the creature to sleep, and it means that I will, if I encounter them, they'll have a -1 to their, when I go into combat with them, they'll have a -3, sorry, not -1. Book of the Dead. Whenever you kill an enemy in second combat, you may place it on this card. It's a typical make things your slaves instead of trophies. Change alignment. Let's go and be neutral. It's a bit safer. Okay, so let's just go over the chat now. I've finished narrating. If you click on the top text bar, right, there we go, from up here. I'm glad you enjoy the rearrangement of the tabs. We're planning on adding more tabs as well with each expansion, because it's a nice, easy way of us containing all of that massive amounts of information that you will get with all the expansions together. Did not realize you could look at the cards via the log. We should definitely make that more obvious in the future. It is really handy though. If you click, I think it's pretty handy when you just don't know what's just happened like that. I suppose you can always have Talisman Wiki at hand if you need it. As you can see, that strength is lowered, but it can only ever go down to 1. Do you plan to make the next Talisman Horus-like games with the other license? I would kill for an 80s G.I. Joe themed Horus-like game, I assume with Talisman. No plans at the moment. I think we're open to it, and you should definitely send us an email if you've got some ideas about it, or if you want some combos like that. At the moment, we're quite happy with Horus. You click on the black and white text top, yep. What about Timescape? I joke about us doing that next all the time. It'd be really cool if we could do it. We might look into it. At the moment, the plan is to finish all of the Talisman content, and then we haven't sort of figured out how about going about what's it called? The expansion which goes in between the city and the dungeon. Oh, someone will remind me in the chat. AI is pro like that. Oh, this is a Dragon Rage token. I will suffer the current Dragon Rage of the Dragon King, which is at the moment Grillipus, and if I click him, I can read his strength and craft if I was to fight him to start with, his lives if I'm on an ending with the lives. Dragon Rage is discard one of your spells. As I said, he's spell related and craft related. Because I don't have any spells, I'll have to lose a life. So it's not going very well for me at the moment. What is that the expansion that goes in between there? Oh god, I was talking about it not that long ago. In between the dungeon. I'll quickly Google it. Dungeon. Oh, this is a tiny keyboard. I hate that keyboard. Deep Realms. We're looking at Deep Realms, and yes, Geeky Chappy beat me to it. Oh, hello, Danny. Welcome to the chat. Is this Gareth's Danny? Yeah, it's always good to get community sort of feedback on these things. So you definitely send us an email, and we can have a proper discussion about it. If you need to get our emails, there should be some on these sites. It's just or you could send Carl an email if you've got Carl's email, or go to our support. Odd move for the druid. Did he do something silly? Yes, we do miss you over here. I hear that I'm currently tagging in for Gareth while he picks up Ethan, and then he's going to tag me back out when I need to get my bus. Oh, Cheshire Cat Girl, what's going on? Rage quit. Or did I leave? Are you all still in a game? Am I the one that broke? Because we've had some networking issues on the beta that we're trying to fix at the moment as well. This might be it. Game gave an error. Everyone quit and we'll resume. Don't worry. We're not gonna. We're gonna try and figure this out because we are trying to. There's some. We've noticed there are some issues this expansion with networking that we're trying to track down. Unmatched game choice. Yeah, that's the one we're trying to track down. Yeah. All because of the camel, definitely. You know, the AI's just playing a bit mean, as it likes to do. So is someone currently in the game and then playing the end of their turn? Or is a... See you, Geeky Chappy. Alright, everyone leave. Because I think there's something up with it. If everyone leaves, then maybe because it keeps telling me to rejoin, but I don't think anyone's in the server at the moment, so there's definitely something that's gone wrong. There we go. Right, now we can resume the game. If everyone joins me. Yeah, we actually do have this one. I think we are aware of this bug and we're trying to fix it at the moment. So we have Cheshire Cat Girl, there we go. Starting the game. Alright, let's see if it happens again. This is the beauty of the beta. So many errors. This is one of the ones we're really struggling to find a proper fix for, I believe. Because we can't, well, mostly because we can't track it down. We can get it so it's reproducible, and then actually watching what goes wrong in it becomes an issue. Ooh, I don't have any trophies, so I'm good there. They won't be very strong. If you mean in the inner region, yes, you can choose between having the regular inner region, the Dragon Realm region, the Dragon Tower region, a random region, or you can play on an ending which makes you go through the entire Dragon Realm region. When you reach the end of that, the board flips and becomes the Dragon Tower inner region, and then when you reach the end of that, you win. Reset the dice tables once you restart the game. No. What's your problem with the dice tables? Do you mean like how we have a sort of seed and we pre-generate every number from the start of a game, so it will always go in a specific order? You're welcome, Sparrowmind. Yeah, we put a lot of thought into making sure people can play with the board exactly how they want to, and we're definitely going to be looking to improving that in the future as well. Yeah, would you rather? I assume that you're one of the people on the forums that talks about having the seed refresh after every choice, or but basically so that even if you quit and then rejoin the same game, you would have a different choice instead of it being the same. You could have a different random result. The whole Dragon Tower mechanic, that is. Yes, there is a lot to absorb with the Dragon expansion though, so make sure you take it slow. It took us a long time to figure that out. Let's heal up. We played for quite a while and took our time figuring out how to make it as well. That's why we delayed it for so many expansions. Fight Farmer. It's not going well for me. You have a different spell than when it crashed. That's really interesting. If you don't mind telling me, what spell did you have before and what spell do you have now? Awaken, there's no advantage to us making it so the random refreshes every game. If you understand what I mean, because if someone restarts their game, they can play their turn in the exact same order. I mean, they can still cheat by making a different line of choices, but if they want to make the exact same order of choices, then that's available to them. Otherwise, people wouldn't be able to, if they had an issue, replay the game in the exact same way. Also, it's as equally random if we refresh the seed after every random that's rolled as just having them in order. Just because that 6 is always going to be a 6 doesn't mean that it's not random. It just means that it's happening in that order because that's the random that it was then. It's very hard to talk about. I think we've had a lot of people requesting it though, so it might be something in the future that we put in, but it's probably going to be on the lower priorities because we've got obligations like finishing the season pass. You can optimize your turn knowing what dice comes up with that turn. I agree, that's a problem, but also you're prone to quitting and changing the die result. That's yeah, it might be an option in the future. The only thing is, I wouldn't, as I said, I don't think it's going to be a priority. And we've got lots of things we'd like. We wanted to redo this AI for ages until it was absolutely necessary. We actually couldn't, and because of dragons and all the extra information, it became absolutely necessary. I get to place another thing on a guy. I still can't believe I'm doing this badly. Let's make him weaker. It's a good thing we've got that event though. Similar to, like, it took us a while to have time to get around to adding these extra tabs in as well, so you can have a look at the burn pile and the discard pile. We always want to give people more information, more options. It's just a matter of time, really. How much effort we have to put in, how much money we've got to spend on a specific expansion. We've got to make sure that we keep everyone happy and at the same time keep everyone fed. So it's especially if it gets enough requests, it'll definitely be done in the future, but it might come after everything else. I understand your pain there, Awaken, and I understand why people would want to have it so that it was they had it in a way that they wanted, because in real life, you don't have to quit out and have all these things, so it's a bit different. Haunting poltergeist is problem with what's the problem with it with the village? Yes, Woodlands is a massive issue to program, and it's not just with Light and Dark Fate. There's a card which makes you potentially roll infinite dice. I think it's Riddlestone, which is, I think it's you roll dice equal to your craft, which is just ridiculous. Like at the moment we can handle about 3 on screen, and that caused okay, Cheshire Girl, I'll definitely check that out after. I'll try that. Hunting poltergeist with the village. Okay. The light and dark fate mechanic is very, very, very difficult for us. It's going to require a big engine refactor. We're going to have to properly define what the value of a life is versus the actual gaining of a life is. For example, a lot of the Destiny cards you get say you gain a life. Well, they don't say you gain a life value, but they don't say if you gain a life with that life value, or if you just literally gain the life value. And then we might not be representing that best with just one singular number, maybe having like a fraction number. So you've got like a 2 and then there's a slash and then there's out of something. There's a lot of discussions to be had about it. Woodlands is sort of the new Dragons for us, because we were worrying about Dragons for ages, and we spent a lot of time planning for it, and we're now in that stage for Woodlands as well, where we spend a very long period of time thinking about how we're going to approach it, planning out every angle. Dragons was incredibly well planned, and we've still had quite a few issues, but because of how well we've planned it, we're really on schedule. Yeah, I think at the moment with Riddlestone, we're talking about changing the card, so there might be a limit on the number of dice you can roll, or making it a little different. It's really tricky for us because we don't like changing cards. We want to stay faithful to the original. But when you look at stuff like this event is doing so much work. When you look at cards like Gremlin from the city, it was just impossible to do digitally in a way, and it's because of the way that we don't really. If you have something that's being used passively in a real life game, you can just say I'm using this, and then you can turn it on and off really quickly. But we don't do that digitally. We just have a lot of things handled in the background, a lot of things handled passively. And because the Gremlin would only trigger when stuff was used, it had to be changed, and we ended up changing it so it was whenever you encountered an object, it triggered a similar effect. I think that was a good change, but it still kept the spirit of the card. But if you change Riddlestone, where part of Riddlestone might be rolling tons and tons of dice, you don't want to take away that feel of it. Do you know what I mean? It would. That's what we're struggling with at the moment. And we don't want to change Woodlands more than we have to. The more we plan it, the less we'll have to. I reckon we might come out of it with some changes though, just to warn everyone. Not many, but a few. It's an inside joke in our Talisman group. I tend to skip or gain spells to play for many turns in a row. Ah, really? Do you play a lot with your Talisman group? We don't play often in real life, but when we do, we only play with a couple of expansions. Oh, I've got that. Sneak Thief. What does he do again? Take an object from another character. If we got. Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt. He said before dying. rolling terribly as well. No fate. How many turns in are we now? 9. I'm not gonna... Whew, I'm not gonna do well for that. Oh yes, that's new. There's a new button for sudden death. You can click there. Because previously it would only pop up during certain... Like, I think it was when you're on the last round, and the last 10 rounds, the last 5 rounds. But now it's just always there. It's much, much better. I can't wait till we do have every single expansion in Talisman. Just to see what it's like. And it's so crazy at the moment following it all. In real life it's just near impossible, but actually having the game do all the hard work for you, that's a good dream. Just again another plug, make sure if you want to get the giveaway that you type in the chat and you stick around for when Gareth comes on, otherwise you will not be eligible. And to make sure everyone has a chance. Ooh, might go again. Oh yes, Gareth. Oof. It is not going well for me. Oh, maybe. Roll low. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. That was so close. The druid was able to ditch the Geist. Really? Let's have a look. When did he ditch it? Haunting Poltergeist was sent to the discard pile. You sure it wasn't when he like crossed a river or something? Or there's a river in between the village and the field space, remember? Or am I wrong? Am I crazy? But there is a river in between them, isn't there? It's whenever you cross the river. Right? I always forget this one too. Where is it? Druid, Haunting Poltergeist. Yeah, it's when you cross the river and there's a... I believe there's a river right there. If you can see it on the between the village and the field space. That might have been the one he went through. There's also one there by the city and the field space. Oh, but that's where you got the unmatched choice, right? Good. Okay, I'll check that out. It's not good. Can't have anyone getting that on the release. We've got our beta testers looking for stuff like that, and they've found some similar. Sorry, not beta testers, QA testers, and they found some very similar things. But it's really hard to reproduce whenever we try and hammer it down, or it's easy to reproduce in a very complicated way that can't be. That means we can't track what the bug is, because when we start watching it, it disappears. Bugs like that are really annoying. It's like trying to kill a cockroach with a hammer and it starts running off behind the tables. It becomes an incredibly frustrating experience. When you finally do kill that cockroach though, it does feel amazing, I will say. It does feel absolutely amazing. Spectral dragon, zombie dragon. They'd probably kill me, wouldn't they? Oh my god, look how bad I'm rolling. I might as well reroll a character at this rate, right? What do you guys think? Do you think I should reroll a character? Do you think I should suicide on the Sentinel? Gareth will not be impressed when he takes over. I finally did it, guys. I finally won a fight. My secret hobby, killing cockroaches. Someone's got to do it. It's a messy job. We don't get cockroaches in England, really. You go to another country and they you know, or you see them on TV, because a lot of American TV has, or cartoons will have cockroaches in them. growing up, I never got the fear of them, and then I went to another country, and I went to Indonesia, and I saw some cockroaches, and I understood it's how they move. It does creep you out a little bit. So some people in warmer climates might relate. For some reason they just don't come over here. 20 rounds remaining. Just got girl ahead. I'm catching up now. It's not going well for you, Neo Gambit. Oh, I'm ahead. What's NL? Is that where's that from? Northern something? I feel you, Neo Gambit. We're sharing that. I think Cheshire Cat Girl cheats. You know, it's Netherlands, of course. I have family in Netherlands. Druid. Get good, Druid. Is anyone else from Netherlands? Neo Gambit, should I come beat you up? Just for fun. And then probably lose because you've got a spell that beats me. Let's try the Enchantress. No, that's a terrible idea. I don't have any fate. I have some gold, I can heal. That's the plan. Oh, but then that takes away from my sudden. Oh, it's worth it just to get away from 1 HP so I don't die. All the expansions. What I'm about to say will not be held to Nomad Games and is, you know, just a really out there number. It's not going to happen this year, obviously. Next year, it's not impossible, but I don't think we'll be finished with Talisman next year. Even if we do finish the expansions, which I don't think we do, because some of them are really, really complicated. We'll probably be working on something else to improve Talisman with, and that will take extra time. There's lots of things we were talking about, like I think at the moment we're discussing adding puzzles in. That'd be really cool. I don't know if you guys would enjoy to see that type of thing, but puzzles, mostly because the game can be really, really hard to access as a new player, and I think the best way to do that might be some structured puzzles where it sort of teaches you through the puzzle. You have to figure it out. Again, it's an idea and it's out there, and it's a lot in the future after we've finished doing all of the expansions, but it is something that we would look forward to doing in the future potentially. Oof, not going well. Good thing I healed though last turn, right? Let's go into the city. Let's do something different. Give up trying to get a dragon. Kind of like that, yeah, scenario based. Something like a story maybe where you have the Ice Queen story and you have to fight against the Ice Queen's puzzles. I don't know if I don't know if I'm allowed to plug other games. I'll be careful. Just in case. I might not be allowed to talk about other games, I might get in trouble. But some other games might have sort of card related story modes, and they're quite thematic. I'm sure people would think of some and then talk about it in the chat, so I don't get in trouble. But that's the kind of thing that would be really cool to do in the future. It would really, I think it would help new players access the game because of how complicated Talisman is. It's like, I'm a huge fan of the War Fortress, and I'm the kind of person that loves to read the wikis and find out tutorials about how to play the game. But I know that I'm never going to convince some of my friends to play the War Fortress, and because it's not multiplayer, that's fine. But I don't know how I'm going to get friends that I know would enjoy Talisman into the game, because there's this wall of information they have to pass through, which is the rules, and some people love that. They love digging in deep into it and reading the manual, and some people don't. And I think that if you have a good tutorial system or some other way of breaking the player in as a new player and then slowly introducing these things, it helps them with more complex games. That's from experience. Well, but wasn't it? Yeah, it's something like Talisman Prologue maybe, but maybe a separate thing, or maybe together with Talisman. That kind of thing would be really cool though. But something maybe more structured, like I forgot here. Stiletto maybe. Get some fate back. Doesn't my gold count towards my... I'm gonna lose anyway if I do though, right? Probably. Why don't we risk it and get a spell maybe with scroll? I don't know. Let's buy a stiletto. That means I've still got... My gold gets turned to something that still gives me value, but I can still... I'm a little bit out fighting. You think Talisman's accessible? Well, from my experience, my friends don't find it accessible, especially when you add more expansions on. But maybe just on its own it is. But there are a lot of very complex rule interactions and some things which are fairly undefined that do put people off as well, just in the base stuff. Yeah, with all the... It's sort of like that, like... I think most new players will probably only put one expansion on at once or something like that, but... There are a lot of rules that come with every expansion. Something like a story to take you through it might help. If you guys think that's a good idea, let us know and give us your ideas on it anyway, because that's the kind of thing we're talking about for the future. Or if you think that anything after we finish the expansions you think we should do. Like people have mentioned, what was it, the Deep Realms. Yeah, the Deep Realms expansion. The opposite to that was the Lost Realms. People have talked about us potentially doing that. They really want that in. That's the kind of thing that we're really interested in at the moment. What to do after we've gone through the expansions, or to do as we go through the expansions, potentially, if we've got some spare time. I like to mix as many as possible versus themed playing, selecting one or two. I like having them all on when I'm playing digitally, but when I'm playing it with just my friends or at work, we will have only one or two because of how complicated it is. Very lucky, Neo. Jesus, that's a life swing, isn't it? Up to 6 now. Whew. Oh yeah, you're tenacious as the cockroach. Hey, we brought it back. It's come all the way round, you know? It's beautiful. Yeah, IRL is a lot of work as well. Just with moving, and it's taxing on the mind as well as on the body. Yeah, I just think there might be better ways of making Talisman more accessible to new players. And if you like our tutorials are really like they're very basic at the moment. I think we could do a lot with those. We potentially do have the rights to make our own expansions. I'm unsure actually specific of the rules, but we make our own characters. Well, at the moment I think we mostly rejig 2nd edition characters, but that's sort of the same type of thing. We are putting our own content into the game, so if you've got things that you want us to make own expansion wise, or ideas, email us. Twice now. Twice people have popped in by accident. I'm in a new room. I'm not in the one Gareth's normally in. We already have a lead board. I think we mentioned we had a meeting, and in it we discussed potentially doing some sort of seasonal leaderboard. So like maybe after every patch we reset a seasonal leaderboard, and the regular leaderboard remains the same, but people have to race on the new leaderboard to get as high as they want within that season. That was talked about. What's up? I'm the last... Oh, but Gareth's coming in afterwards anyway, so don't worry about it. Right, you too. That's letting me know that I'm the last man in, so I'll have to lock up. He's not... Is he on his way? That's good, Danny. He's dropped Ethan off. Just got to make sure I'm not late for my bus. Or if I am, I suppose I can play some more Pokemon Go. I gave up on Pokemon Go. I managed to keep the habit. I'm dead, guys. I'm dead. You know, if I don't click continue, I'll be fine. He said, delaying the inevitable. Alright, let's just do it. Rest in pieces. Right, yeah, the Dragon Rider is one of the rougher characters. She gets a really slow start. So I think it was Freezy that said he was new to the. There's some really strong characters from the get-go. Like Dragon Priestess is probably my favorite. She's immune to the Dragon Rage, which, as you can see, is probably done like 4 of my HP. She can also take cultists as followers and then use them as bonuses towards praying. So she can pretty much always have good results at the temple. And then also she can pray at dragons. It's like every dragon has become a temple. Oh wow, that's pretty decent now. She's really strong. The Cataclysm expansion is a completely new board. Doesn't have it. Yeah. Oh, we played Cataclysm recently in Office because it was one we were doing that Harbinger Woodlands. We were obviously planning it out, figuring out how we're gonna do it. The good news is it's looking a lot easier than we thought, because we read the rules and we started, you know, we started digging into the cards and we were like, oh, this is looking like a, you know, something that's pretty difficult, but you know, it's not out of scope as we thought it was. It's not as impossible as we thought it was, which is really good news. Oh, was I talking too fast? I do that sometimes. She can pray at dragons. So when she encounters a dragon, she can choose to pray at them instead, like at the temple, where when you encounter the temple, you roll 2 dice and there's a table of results. So she gets to use the cultists she picks up, of which there are quite a few in the decks, by the way, of the dragon decks, and she can then use them as a bonus towards praying at the dragons that she encounters, because every dragon is now a temple, which is pretty great. We had the one thing that I've always avoided the temple. I don't, you know, maybe I'm not. I actually am quite a lot of a gambler, but I don't know. I always see the downside at the temple a lot of the time. But I was doing some AI with it, and I found out the temple is almost, you know, it is usually a really good choice, especially when you're not just heading towards the inner region. Oh, Minotaur, yeah. Minotaur adds his. If he rolled for movement that turn, he can add that to his attack roll when he ends up in combat. So if he rolls like a 6, he can move 6, land on an enemy, or draw an enemy, and then add 6 to his attack, which is just crazy. And it adds up. I think the downside is he can't use armor, but he's pretty gambly. Like, you can just have bad luck and then he's just always bad. You never draw enemies, you never encounter enemies. But when he does hit and when he gets it all right, because he's already got high strength, it can get crazy. Dragon Hunter, yes, more dragon. Dragon Hunter begins the game with an axe. Instead of rolling for movement, you may move the closest dragon. You may move the closest dragon to another space in your. You may move the closest dragon on another space in your region. You may move 2. Right, sorry. If 2 or more dragons are in equal distance away, you choose which dragon to move to. So he just sort of seeks the nearest dragon and attacks it like a teleport. Whenever you engage an enemy in battle, you may make a death blow. Roll 2 dice and add them together to determine your attack roll. If you roll doubles, you're automatically defeated. It's sort of like the anti-flail then, because the flail on the city, you roll 2 dice and you automatically win. So you roll 2 dice, you automatically lose, which is good because you get to roll 2 dice, but there is that downside. Oof, oof, oof. What's happening? What are you doing to me? Not to me. Oh, temporary alignment change. Temporary change. Conjurer is great as well. Just, what's the current? She's basically got Fez's ability from the cities. He's one of the followers from the city, and her ability is whenever you land on a space, I think you may teleport a card towards your space before you encounter it. So whatever the best card on the current board is you can encounter, or you can just fight enemies. She's just really good. You may blow the horn whenever you land on a space with instructions drawn on face-up enemy. So I can teleport enemies to me. So that's sort of like the Conjurer, similar to that sort of thing. Yeah, Warlock and Sprite. I think we looked at fun fact, win ratios for the game. in player games, the highest win rates usually come from Sprite and Sprite and then Warlocks, because of how many spells they get. But with AI, I think it was something like Troll was really strong. I think Warlock did okay, did pretty okay with AI as well. But Troll does really well as an AI, weirdly enough. But mostly I think because it just has really good base stats, and then the healing thing is also really handy. I just find that quite interesting, that maybe the Troll is better than we give it sort of credit for at first glance, just by virtue of having really good stats. If you're not using spells to optimum efficiency, potentially, that's probably what makes the Sprite so strong and the Warlock so strong in player games. But yeah, try the Troll out. It's got a pretty decent win ratio, especially with AI, but again as well with, even though it's a bit boring, again as though with player games. Oof, nasty combo for you, Neo. I am Discovery. Hey, I just wanted to say I love your digital version. My game's got all the hours played online. Thank you, I'm Discovery. Oh yeah, the physical copy is great to have as well. I think it's a great experience to play in real life and in digital. And I think I would play a lot more Talisman in real life if I could afford all the expansions, because it's so expensive. It's like £60 for the base game, and then you're spending like 30 to 60 for every expansion. It's crazy. We still play the digital all the time though. Yeah, I like both. I can see you using both. Let's try and find something to fight. Let's go this way. Oh, sorry, am I blowing on the mic when I do that? Tell me if I am. Tell me off. Ooh, shall we death blow? So, at the moment we're slightly... yeah, we'll just guarantee the win, won't it? Oof, nice. Go us. I'm glad you play the digital too. It's... as I said, I love playing both. The nice part about playing in real life as well is you can bend the rules a little bit. Like, we have a lot. Whenever I play with people, they're usually Talisman savvy / board game savvy, and they will usually jig things like, well, it works this way in another game, so why not make it work that way in Talisman? But digitally, we have to follow literally the letter of the law. We have to follow the FAQ. We have to follow every previous decision we've ever made, so there's a certain amount of precedent set with every decision made. Digital against AI quick play, best of course is real board, go expansion, but it takes time. It does take a lot more time in real life. But I think if you've got like a whole day, you got a barbecue or something going, you've got a nice setup at home, and if you've got all the expansions, fantastic. And if you can't afford them, don't worry about it. But yeah, it's great in real life. We've changed it so that rerolls are purple, both when it's at the top there and when it's on the right there as a choice, because someone on the beta group said that the reroll choice and the roll choice were both the same colour, and because he was quite in and out of the game, he found it difficult to notice the difference between them, because he would just sort of play watching TV or something. So we changed it so that well, it was his suggestion, I believe, actually, that we made it purple. I think it's worked quite well. I think it looks good. Let's go beat up a Varthrax token. Discard all cards on every space in this region and then discard this card. Yeah. If Varthrax was the king in every region. I want to fight something. I want to punch something. I'm glad you like the UI updates. A lot of thought went into it, and a lot of work too. and there will be more in the future. Like I think I think we did this at the top here. We did the inventories on the left, where they all sort of hide away. That was probably the first big one, because does everyone remember back in the old days where you had everyone on one of the corners, like you do in real life almost, where everyone's around a board on a corner. But if you want to play with 6 players, we had to figure something out. So this is really nice and compact. As you can see, we've made it so that when you have a strength, in addition to your character strength, we put them in your inventory now as well. And as you can see, these 2 people have beaten dragons and gain tokens in their inventory to use against dragons. Yeah, and then this one at the bottom was because we previously had a tab for information on spaces and cards. Cards to be used in your inventory. A talkie tab, which was off on normal mode. And we used to have this on the left here as like an extra card, like the daytime night thing. I think the plan from now on is to get rid of all the clutter and sort of start filling this tab up at the bottom, maybe make it a bit bigger. And I think we're planning on moving the time card down into a tab, potentially. Putting, like we do for this, where we show the dragon king as the colour of the tab, because someone has requested there is a clear image that says if it's day or night time, or the card flipping. We'll probably put the card into a tab, and then make it so that there's a moon icon or a sun icon. I don't think we're going to get it done for the dragon's release, but it's what we're looking to do in the future. And also you'll see Harbinger in its own tab. Maybe put a Reaper in its own tab, so you can click on the Reaper card. We've talked about putting all of the NPCs into one tab, because you've got the Reaper, you've got the Werewolf, and you've got the Harbinger. The Harbinger's another NPC, which comes with the Harbinger expansion. It does a lot, but to sum it up, there's this thing called Omen mechanics, and it has a lot to do with those. It's pretty cool. It speeds the game up a bit, adds a lot of depth to your choices. Yeah, a lot of people have asked for it here, yeah, and we are listening. We just can't do everything all at once. It's going to happen eventually. We are listening. Yeah, I get what you mean with just a flip, but we've got to do artwork for one side, artwork for the other side, and we want a more permanent solution instead of just throwing something together. We want a nice, sort of polished way of showing it. There was the old. I struggle to see how people can't notice the difference at the moment. I'll be honest with you. That's my personal thing, but I respect other people's opinions, and we want to please. So, and someone else in the office has asked for it as well. So you're not alone. Personally, I'm happy with the way that the whole board changes colour, but professionally, obviously, I'm not, because you're not happy. Yes, we put in effort towards the turning the lights off as well. I think it was I can't remember whose idea it was now. Might have been Jethro's or Amanda's. I can't remember. Yeah, you might see them streaming sometimes. Ooh, draw a spell because of Ymir's glow. What does that do again? Nobody cheating. Look at my spell. Ooh. Choose the result. I mean, do nothing. Oh, what a terrible spell. No one will want that. Go to plan B. He's stuck in traffic. Keep the stream running. He'll be there. That's typical. Traffic this time of day. Thanks for letting me know, Danny. No worries. How big is Nomad? That's a good question. We're how many people are we? So we've got 6 programmers. We have a couple of programmers that work on our main tech and software, and then we have people working on individual games. Like me and Jethro are like only Talisman. So when you see me or Jethro on, you know that we're literally only Talisman. We've got 2 producers, one person that's sort of like in charge of QA. We've got a designer who moves in between projects. Carl Jackson, you may have seen him around. He's one of our sort of faces of the company. We've got 3 artists. We've got someone for marketing. We've got someone for sort of the people manager, HR, I suppose. I wasn't counting. Hang on. 3 artists. 10 rounds remaining. 1 QA, 2 producers. That's 12. It's about 15-ish. Then we've got a lot of people that, you know, are sort of associated with us. You use your craft instead of your strength during a battle. This is an item for the wrong character. Speaking of which, by the way, there's another card that does a very similar thing called the what's it called now? The thing that does the opposite thing. This Psychonic Wand. What's it called? And yes, Psychonic Wand, and there's an item that does the same thing. It's a sword. I remember that. But basically, it turns your strength into. You can use your strength in craft fights. Those were the 2 hardest cards potentially to do in the entire game. Sorry, well, not in the entire game. In the entire Dragons expansion, it was up there. We spent ages on those cards because strength and craft were 2 very different things in our engine, and to make them so that you could sort of mutate between the 2 was a very complicated process. We spent a very long time on that. It was a very, very, very big refactor. Just it's fun to let you guys know what it seems so simple. Just I'm going to use my strength instead of my craft, but digitally it's like what happens when you combine all these other effects, like. So, I think it's, what was it that said? Sky Screecher says, if you roll lower than your craft, you automatically lose. So if you use the strength thing, does that then become? So if you use the thing which lets you use your strength in craft battles, are you now checking your strength instead of your craft on that new card? It's stuff like that. It's interesting. Hello again, Kiki Chappy. Welcome back. Yeah, we've hired a lot of. Talisman started with just 5 people, I think. We had Matt, Rob, Andy. I think Andy came in a bit later, but Andy was there. We had Carl and we had Don. So it's like the 5 founding members. And then they've hired people on as with the success and support of Talisman, and it's been fantastic. We've seen so much growth, and we get to do more cool great games now, like Fighting Fantasy Legends. We've done a combo of 3 of the books, and I used to play them when I was a kid, and I didn't get to work on it because as I said, I'm only on Talisman, but I find it really fun, and I'm happy to have been able to be part of the process. Yes, that's true. There is a lot of sort of legacy code in Dragons. We call them Dragons in the code, where we have to go back and it takes a lot of fighting. It's a very, very complicated engine, as you can imagine, and we spend a lot of time on it, updating it, and then also being very careful not to break everything that we built everything on top of. I love that though. I love the challenge, and I love the complexity. I'm one of those. I think I've always been into that board game, sort of lose yourself in the complexity of something. I think I've mentioned I'm into Dwarf Fortress, haven't I? So I've got to be a little bit masochistic towards myself when it comes to complexity. Are you a fan of is Neo Gambit a fan of Fighting Fantasy Legends? Have you started playing it? I always love hearing people's stories on it, because everyone's always has a different experience. I think I've probably done everything you could just about do in that game now. apart from do the higher difficulties. You haven't played it yet? Oh, well, you should. You know, just stick around, and I think we've streamed a couple of games. If you want to have a look at that, they should be in our like video section or on YouTube or something. Speaking of, I've been neglecting the YouTube chat. Oh, Jordi Janovic, welcome to the live chat of YouTube, and I apologise for taking so very, very long to read that chat. I'm a naughty man. Okay, rolled. Move. Gareth pulls his hair out in the background. Oh, why was he pulling his hair out? I'll take the axe. Death blow, because we're not going to win otherwise. Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh. Oh dear. Well, I had them together, so do you guys think I should re-roll that too? I think I'm gonna, because risking it for a chocolate biscuit. Yeah. Alright, I don't lose a life. It's worth it. Yeah, I heard that last time Ethan was on stream. Nomad's lad, yeah. He said Richard was better than... I missed that one. What a shame. I didn't know Ethan had met me. Have I met Ethan, Danny? I can't remember. Was he talking to me because he'd read what I was saying in the chat? Is that it? He was saying I was better because of what I was reading in the chat, or I was playing in the game. Reroll. Awakens with me there. You gotta reroll. Reroll is always the right decision to make. Oh, he's watching now. Oh, that's great. Oh, hello, Ethan. Thanks for watching me. I'm surprised he seemed very active last time I was watching the stream. I'm glad you can put the time away to sit down and watch me. And to be boring and to make him hate me. Has he done his homework? Does he have homework? Is he old enough to have homework? I think I had homework when I was in year 1. I don't know is he in year 1? He must be old enough for homework. You can always have some homework. See, now he hates me. I hate doing homework myself, and I never really did it. Not to encourage not doing your homework. Don't be me. It was mostly spelling. I was never good at doing my spelling homework. I love doing maths, as you can imagine. But my spelling homework, I was never very good at. I'm still not a fantastic speller, but you know, that's what Google's for, or anything else, I suppose. No homework over the summer. Oh yes, it's summer holidays. Choose a card from the board. Oh, I have to do a sleep token, don't I? He's been at Beaton Castle all day. Beaton Castle sounds fantastic. I went to a castle near Scotland. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was well, I don't know. I'll let you know in the future. But it was lovely. It was like built into a cliff. There was a beach next to it. It was so typical castle. We loved it. I was going with my girlfriend, Giselle, and it was great. When we went up to Scotland, we went all across the countryside and the hills. Oh yeah, I'd recommend Scotland on a tourist trip if you're looking for something. It depends on. It was low budget for us, but if you want to spend more, you could. Like if you go to hotels. Yeah, Scotland. Have totally not paid me to do this stream, by the way. I'm just advocating that Scotland was a great trip, and I'd recommend it to anyone out there looking to go on holiday. Make sure you go through the countryside. You do the camping, all authentic. Bent Nevis is great. It's cold, but it's great. It's wet too. We got very wet. I'm afraid of heights. You don't have castles in Arizona. Is Arizona America? Is that in America? Cactuses are cool though. For us, that's quite exotic. I think I have an aloe vera plant at home because I'm quite clumsy. So I'll whenever I burn myself when I'm cooking, I'll quickly pop some aloe vera on there, and then moan for like a baby for ages. And yeah, I think I had a burn on my finger not that long ago, and it's recovering now quite well because of the aloe vera. Nephew's moving to Edinburgh. You should. I love the sort of the accent as well. It's brilliant how English people find it. I think I can understand about 80% of someone from Glasgow would say, especially if they're talking fast. But when I took Giselle with me, because she's originally from Indonesia, she's half Indonesian, half English. When we took her up, or when we watched the Limmy show, which is that Scottish comedian, she'll get like 20-40% of what they're saying, which is enough for the gist into order food, I suppose. But yeah, you watch Game of Thrones for castles. Don't spoil. Are you enjoying the new season? I'm waiting to binge it all in one go. I hear it's a very good season so far, though. I'm up to date on Rick and Morty though, because I don't have the self-control to wait for a whole season with Rick and Morty. It's that's my Achilles heel. My mum has tons of cactuses actually. Now I think about cactuses again. She's got one. She had one that flowered as well. It was fantastic.
Safe.
Oh, welcome, Gareth. Ethan wants you to know he's afraid of heights. I don't know. What? I'm afraid of heights as well. It's because I had nightmares when I was younger about falling off like bridges and stuff. Not to put nightmares in your brain, Ethan, but yeah, I couldn't get it out of my head. I think walking or going up, walking or going up mountains is a great way to sort of combat that fear in a very mild way that doesn't make you
You're in my chair.
Make you freeze. I'm in your chair.
Yeah, so I'm going to stand all the way behind you.
All right.
When I was a kid, I used to have reoccurring apocalyptic nightmares.
Reoccurring.
Reoccurring is a legitimate word.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a legitimate word, guys?
Yeah, guys in the street. They normally correct me anyway. No, recurring is where the same thing happens repeatedly, where reoccurring is an event that word didn't complete. Anyway, it's taken me effort to get here. My brain's a little bit bamboozled. Welcome back, though.
All right, we're gonna swap seats. I'll still be here in the background. I'm just gonna clean.
My seat's gonna be warm now.
Yeah.
That's
this bum.
I take my shoes and socks off.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to have reoccurring apocalyptic nightmares because my parents.
I won't, Danny. Thank you. But I've got some time. I've got 5 minutes. Go on, keep going.
Yeah. My parents didn't realise that I was a bit of a delicate child.
You delicate?
I was as a child, and I watched films like Armageddon and Waterworld, and
Armageddon frightened me. You know when that guy looked into space and he
sees the.
If I was in space, I'd go mad. It terrified me. I was like,
hold on, I'm gonna wave my hand over the camera to try and fix the background.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to have dreams of drowning due to Waterworld. My turn's ending. That's the wrong mouse. Waterworld caused me to dream about drowning. Armageddon used to cause me to picture an asteroid hitting the Earth.
Yeah.
As like a 6-year-old kid, I used to dream of nuclear bombs destroying the Earth.
That's grim.
And I remember like being stood in my living room in this dream, and my living room was we were at the top of a small hill.
Yeah.
So we saw houses recede down, and then there's like a little bit of farmland between us and the next town, and then you can see houses in the next town in the distance. In my dream, you know the old like 80s arcade asteroid game where you've got your little turret and it's going pew 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 pew, taking asteroids out the air. It was like that. I just see the trail of it coming in, and it was yeah. It's alright. It fixed the buzz.
Fix the buzz.
Oh no, it's back now. I think it's because my white arms are waving around and it can't deal with how much like white is on the screen.
Right, so I've got my my washing up to do, guys. You're not doing very well.
Me?
Mm-mm.
No one's doing that well. Oh, it's been going an hour and a half.
Oh, I think Cheshire's still winning.
Cheshire's always still winning.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, me and Neo just didn't do that well. He was previously a druid, killed himself.
So we've not got bloodbath on?
No.
Ah, so we're going to the end. Is it
but
hidden ending?
You're on sudden death, so you've got 6 rounds remaining.
This was not worth coming back for.
Yes, it was.
It took me 20 minutes to get home and about 45 minutes to get here.
Well, I didn't want to leave the guys hanging. They've got to get closure on when the game ends, you know. I'm sorry, I'm not your shot, am I?
They can hear you, unfortunately.
Okay. Alright, well, I'll see you guys and enjoy.
Alright.
Don't let us down, you have to win.
I won't see you tomorrow because I'm off. I'll see you Monday.
Oh, yes, you are. Sorry, see you.
Bye. Thanks. Alright, what are we going to do? I have no idea. Have I just re-rolled? I hope I haven't. Oh, I'm the Dragon Hunter? Slayer? Dragon Slayer, so I can move to the nearest Dragon Hunter. I was right. Nearest Dragon to me. That's the Topaz Dragon, who is a Craft Dragon, so there's no point attacking him because I can't use my Death Blow. Right, I'm just getting up to speed, and then I'll look left and look at the chat and try and catch up. I have the Horn of Summoning. No thank you. I'm going to encounter the space because I don't want to encounter a Grillipus card because that's likely to be craft as well. Right, where are we at? Run Rich, thanks for the game. You already died. Hi Gareth. Oh, that's me. Hi Sparrowman. Oh, giveaway. Did he mention giveaways at any point? He was supposed to. Right, what is going on with this white box as well? Hi, Ethan. I don't think he will have given anything away. Has he mentioned to anyone that we will be having a giveaway? He might have mentioned it earlier. He didn't. Right, giveaway. Right. Oh, I'm going to stop saying right. He edits my titles that I write because I always put giveaway last. What I do is I put the game that's being played because that's the focal point of the stream. We want people to know about our game. Then I put what's going on in this stream. Devs versus community, staff doing this, us against the AI. And then I put a third thing of kind of the bonus. This is why you should tune in. And he always says, put giveaway first. And what he's supposed to have banged on about it. Right. I have had the Twitch chat running. So the way our giveaways work is... Oh, there's people on YouTube. Jesse D, when is it coming out? Soon. We are approaching final build. We'll make an announcement either... Did you mention giveaways?
I mentioned it like 4 times.
Alright, fair enough. The chat are making you out to be a liar.
What?
Some are saying that you did, some are saying you didn't.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, guys, if you didn't hear me say it.
I'm looking at YouTube. Did you look at YouTube?
I looked at it once. I've got to go. I'm sorry I've neglected people. You need to talk in the chat. You're probably mentioning that.
Yeah.
Go.
Bye again. When is it coming out? Soonish. When is... Yeah. We'll make an announcement over the next week on what day or date or window it is likely to be. Pick a card. Why am I picking a card? Not been paying attention at all. What's the policy on streaming beta? Does that mean you as beta players streaming it in a non-official capacity? I.e. Nomad aren't involved in your stream. If it does mean that, go for glory. Like initially when we'd first start the beta, we'd prefer you not to because the chances are there's loads and loads of broken things in it and we don't want to stream with like every 2 minutes going, well, there's a bug, there's a bug, there's a bug. But we're nearing release, so do what you want. I think. Marketing manager's probably crying somewhere. Oh yeah, giveaway stuff. The way you enter our giveaways is just by commenting on our Twitch chat. So simply say hello, leave a full stop or anything like that. If you have left any comment from when we start streaming up to when we start doing the giveaways, your name will be kept in the hat and then at some point I will pull names out of a hat. Is the PlayStation version going to catch up to the PC version or will it always be behind? Current development will be for PC, iOS, Android and Mac. The PlayStation, we haven't confirmed whether we will do additional releases for that, but we may do a bundle towards at some point in the future. You know, the way we've done the base game up to Netherrealm, we may do, I think it was Blood Moon that came after the Netherrealm? Blood Moon up to wherever we get up to. We may, yeah. There is a PlayStation version and a PlayStation Vita version. I believe it's cross-purchase as well for PlayStation. So if you get it on your PlayStation 4, it will also be available for you on your Vita and vice versa. And another cool thing about that is it has cross-saves, I think, as well. So if you're playing on your PlayStation 4, you've got to leave the house, you're on a train, you're on a bus, you're waiting for any reason, you can then continue your save on your Vita. Are we ever going to give up on low-res images for iOS versions? I mean, should we stop focusing on them? Or do we not do high-res versions? Which direction's that question in? I'm sure our iOS versions have high-res data. Because as soon as you download it, it comes up with, would you like to download high-res graphics? This will be complete on your next thing. The thing with iOS, or the thing with mobile and tablet gaming is the age and development of graphics cards, machinery, tech, leaves a massive gulf in between what the game can run on now and what the game can kind of still run on going backwards. Oh, I don't want to be giving stuff up. It's one of those things, it'd be a shame to see any device get cut off. Sometimes it's beyond our reach. Sometimes it's beyond our control. That's the correct phrase. Where you have a platform store or a platform itself moving away from the code that we're writing, which may not be in line with the way our engine is being developed. So the engine we currently use for Talisman is Marmalade. So Marmalade, as a company or the people that run it, create their engine to do certain things, and they can move it left, right, forward, back, up, down, in whatever way they think Marmalade should run. Then when they post an update, we then have to make our code go, all right, what's changed with Marmalade? How do we ensure our code's still working with Marmalade? And then at any given point, Marmalade and our code has to then work with Steam, has to then work with iOS, has to then work with Android, has to work on Mac. And it's kind of keeping everything together and keeping everything from moving away from each other is a difficult task. So when you then look at Android, then you look at iOS that has iPhones 4, 5, 6, 7S, you've got your iPads, your iPad minis, you've got your Samsung Galaxies, S3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these magical things. We have to have low res, otherwise we are cutting off customers. Hammer Time's not here today. Oh, that's cutting. I told Richard that when he says and you can say hello in chat or anything, expect Hammer Time to say hello in chat because he's dead clever and he always makes that joke. So it's disappointing that he's not here to make his joke. It's like his thing now. That, and either on the last stream or the stream before, he said we should stream alternative games like Siege, which I support, because Siege is dead good. And I need people to jump on that bandwagon so I can say, look at these people asking for me to play Siege. Yeah. But who would do the giveaway drum roll? I'm sure we'll figure it out. Neo Gambit clearly knows how to change the colour of his text. Lempy, I've been wanting to talk to you because you're probably one of the few people watching this that would understand my pain of the M6. No one likes traffic talk, but people who've been stuck in traffic like talking about it. And I think Lemmy is close enough in proximity to us to understand the trial that is the M6. I don't even drive on it. M6, for anyone that's not UK, all our motorways are listed as M1, 2, 3, 4, 5. M6 connects like the middle of England up to the north of England. I don't use it, but one of the motorways that I use has a cross point where people come off and onto the M6. And when the M6 falls apart, which it does on a daily basis, all traffic spills. Ah, yeah. That's why I'm late. Who have we got? We've got a number of people in the chat. Anyone that would like to win a copy of something, I'm not sure what I'm going to give away. The marketing manager's gone on holiday, so no one's kind of said you should be focusing on Talisman or maybe give out a copy of the Dragon expansion, which is yet to come out. But we've already done that. We owe someone that. Can't quite remember who. I'll figure it out. It's in our Twitch thing. Or to give out a copy, an expansion for Talisman or base games for Horus Heresy, whatnot. So we'll do the drum roll. We'll draw a name from the hat, and then whoever wins, if you're still around, you can pick what you want to win. Was it you, Geeky Chappy? Is it you that I owe a copy of the Dragons to? I've also got to fix this hazy box that's going on around me. If I do my magic wave, what if I open the door and let an alternative light source in? No one else is in the office, so I can yell all I want. No, that's not improved anything. What if your legs didn't know that they were legs? Video capture. Oh, we've got one gate. I'm joint last. Wonderful. What I need is to stumble across a lottery spell. Is lottery the right? Charity spell. That's the one. And take all the Cheshire Cat's gold. Stormcrow is not going to aid me in anything. Right, let's mess with this. Filters. Let's get rid of the chroma key. We're about to see our magical green background. Let's put in a fresh one. Chroma key. No, it's still hazy. Never mind. It's probably because our green screen is like right below the headlight things. Yeah. All that rushing to come in for 5 minutes of streaming. You won the Dragons expansion, yet you already have the season pass. Do you know anyone that you could give it away to? Surprisingly, no one in our office is a smoker. There's 15 people that work here, 14 people that work here, and no one smokes. You'd think by numbers, at least some of us do. Or at least one of us do, but no. Alright, calm down, Awaken. With it, we'll see what we can do. Your name is in the hat, I believe. Let's get rid of you, because you work here. And that's it. That's alright then, Geek Chappy. You can ensure... you can make them dance for you. See who loves you more. And then also ask them why they don't have season passes. I think the most we've ever had is we had an intern here who was here for 3 weeks. He's the only person that's ever smoked in my 2 years here. Yeah. It's not cool. Huh. What postcards have we got left? What is the value of a postcard? So we've got Simon Snow. Simon Snow and Pooladin who have claimed some postcards. What? Oh, we have a winner. Is it going to be Cheshire Cat Girl? Surprise! I'm going to blame Richard. I would have won if I was here. Let's get to the XP screen. Woo! Most followers! That was it. An hour and a half of gameplay and we had most followers. Right, next week I will be on full stream and it will be a dragon stream. So I'm going to have no bloodbath, no sudden death, and we're going to have a full game. Going to do it properly. So, postcards. Simon Snow and Pooladin have chosen Let's Make Me Massive so everyone can see the postcards in all their glory. There's me massive. Oh, that's my big face. It's likely to be Thursday next week. Yes, it will be Thursday next week. Right, so we've got the Hag, I think. So the Hag, and that is fully signed by Nomad staff. We've got a Bear, which is fully signed by Nomad staff. And we have 2 postcards left. We have a Witch, and we have the Ape. And we've not put these up into competitions yet. You want more Nomad Lad fighting fantasy streams? But he's a nightmare. Oh. Trying to stream whilst he's like tearing down my green screen and he's running out the office. Last week they locked us in the office. There's 4 different companies that work in this building. And if you're in around this time, you always go and check to make sure you're the last in to see if you should lock up. And because I locked the door to our office, someone must have come, saw it locked, tried it, it didn't open, and thought no one's here. So when we went to leave the room, alarms start going off. He'd hidden one of the clips off the green screen under someone's table. Wasn't fun. He's there and around. He's with Danny Pipperoo. Right. Giveaways. Let's do a giveaway. Is there anyone that's just turned up that would like to win some free stuff? If so, say hello in the chat or say something in the chat and we'll see if your name's drawn from the hat. I will draw in 2 minutes. Do we have any questions in the meantime? Speak now or forever hold your dice. Baseline. Bow, bow, bow. The managing director has a bass upstairs. I'd be tempted to go and grab it for a laugh. Because I can play a little bit of bass. I was saying that chances are I'd play someone else's song and we'd have a strike or something. I don't know how this stuff works. Hi, I'm Discovery. Discovery. Were you previously in the hat? Yes, you were. Never mind, you're not now. Oh, move along. Right, let's do... Let's do a draw then. Where's my thing? There it is. Right. I can't do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because I'm 20 seconds ahead of the stream. So the chat will go, this is the winner. And then 15 seconds later, I'll go 5, 4, 3. So the winner is... Da, 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 bing, 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 bing. But oh, Geeky Chappie's won again. Ah, that's no fun. Bring it on, Nomad Man. Is it a Fender? I don't know what it is. We'll do prizes first. We'll give away more stuff. Don't worry. I'll pick 3 winners. We normally do 3. So Geeky Chappie, you've won again. What do you want this time? You can have some Horus Heresy related, some Talisman related, Fighting Fancy related. What else do we do? Lapland Solitaire, Backgammon Blitz. I think Smash Up stuff that Smash Up stuff has moved to Asmodee for publishing. We will have further announcements on that soon, but I'm not sure if we can give away any stuff for that because that's Asmodee's kind of realm to do. But if you're into Smash Up, keep an eye out for that as well. Last time you won, Kat, we had a kind of like set prize. People were winning this, and you had this. What? That's on the table. Why do you not have it yet? You should have it. Where am I doing? Where am I looking? Steam keys. I assume you want it for Steam as well, given that we're playing on Steam with you. Wait, do you want to give away your stream to someone watching, or are you going to give away give away dragons to one of your friends that only has the base game? Right, someone else a fair chance, that's fine. So there's your copy of Fighting Fancy Legends. And you're going to surrender your copy of the Dragon expansion that is yet to come out, and we'll give it to someone else. Is that fair? Just before I do it? I need to fix this background as well. Do me at it. Give it away here. And also, if they play and you're online, they can join in with your copy of Dragon, because that's how it works. Right, we're going to do another winner then. Where's the reroll button? Last winner, Geeky Chappie, has been removed from the pool. Right, how do I do this? Oh, roll again. There it is. It's to do with how white my face is. I'm a very pale human being. See, when I move out of the stream, there is less reflective surfaces, and you get proper background. When I move in stream, I block light sources and all this stuff, and it reflects off my face. It's my face that breaks it. Right, another winner coming up. I'll do some hand movements so I know that I've already announced it. And then I'll press the big magic button. Ba-ba-da-ba. How do I say your name? Njordi Jovanovic? Is it N. Jordi Jovanovic? Or is it Njordi? Are you still around? Let's find you in the chat. Where was your last message so I can send you a whisper? You won something. There we go. Oh, there you are. You are still here. So, second one was closer. Jovanovic. I'm saying that because that's how, similar to Mila Jovovic's name. And also, yeah. That's what I'm going on. Lapland Solitaire is a cool little game. It's solitaire. It's nothing greater than solitaire. If you're not into card game, it's not your thing, but it does what it says on the tin. Right, Yori? What do you want? You want Fighting Fantasy? Or do you want the Dragon expansion? Or do you want something Horus related? Final Fantasy. I'm afraid I don't have any copies of Final Fantasy to give away. Did I say Final Fantasy? You won the solitaire. You're sponging off us, geeky chappy. Support your artist. So, Fighting Fantasy is a choose-your-own-adventure storybook game, or it's based on the storybooks. It's an adaptation of Citadels of Chaos, City of Thieves, and Warlock of Firetop Mountain. They were the 3 initial books that came out in the series in the 80s. So, we did a whole top-down, you're walking across the map, bumping into the kind of characters that you bumped into in the books, trying to solve similar puzzles. We've changed the formula a little bit to make it a fresh game. It's not a case of if you read the book as a kid in the 80s, you already know what you're doing. There's an element of randomness in there. There's some dice rolling. And yeah, it's a choose your own adventure RPG thing. Legends for iOS. I will see if I have any keys. Make sure that I close the Steam keys. Not Steam. I'm not sure if this code will work. How did you manage to get the Wizard of Firetop Mountain books right? In what sense? There's been a few adaptations of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain because it is the first book. Naturally, if you're going to start with a series or try and do an adaptation of something from a series, you start with book 1, story 1. So there have been a number of companies that have done Warlock of Firetop Mountain. There's been a company that did a straight up book to digitization in the sense that you are going through the pages. There's been a company that more recently, I think that's the one you're referring to, that have done what is essentially a dungeon crawler. So it's kind of like old Diablo. It's like Tomb Raider, Temple of Osiris, that kind of game where you're moving through a dungeon and going through the story in that manner. Ours is somewhat of a reimagining. It's not a direct translation from book to screen. You have the same characters, you have the same locations, there's the same atmosphere, but going from point A to point B has random events that are drawn from a deck like cards. So you face card that could be a trap, it could be an enemy, it could be an item, it could be someone that is there to help you. And because this is a shuffled deck, it means you get a different story every time you play. Every time you go through Port Black Sand, every time you go through the Black Tower, every time you go through the Firetop Mountain, there is going to be a different set of challenges and assistance along the way. Yeah. So I'm going to give you this code. If you could let me know if it works now. Yep, there it is. So that's a code for iOS. If you've got your iOS device about, let me know. So I can either try and find you the right code or get you an alternative prize if that one doesn't work. And we'll do a third and final giveaway as well. Question in forums. Let's load it up. If someone reaches the crown, do they actually fight the Dragon King, or do they just resolve the ending of the Thieves' Guild ending, not fight the Dragon King? I don't know, is the honest answer. The rule buffs and rule laws are something that have been handled primarily by the programmers, because we've kind of changed our approach to how we've dealt with dragons as opposed to how we dealt with Netherrealms, Blood Moon, the city expansion, everything that came before. I've been less hands-on with this project as I've been dealing with other things like Smash Up, which has been the thing that I've been taking care of. So the ins and outs of how exactly the rules work, I'm not the right person to ask. Desendos, who was here about 30 minutes ago, would have been the right person. So what I'll do is I'll forward that post to him and he can argue it out with whoever. I think my knowledge of the board is this central piece acts like the crown of command in this circumstance. So unless you have a dragon-based ending where you have to get to the centre and fight the dragon, getting to the centre is considered complete. So I would say if you've completed the Thieves Guild ending and you get to the centre space on the Dragon Tower, then that performs as the crown of command. Yeah, I agree with what Kat's saying in the chat. What I'll do is I'll spam your whisper, Mr. Jovanovic, Mrs. Jovanovic, and see if it pops up anywhere. Also, Cheshire Cat Girl, your name's just gone from uppercase to lowercase. I'm not sure if that means anything on Twitch. I'll also copy and paste that same code into a message. Oh, I don't want to block you. Ban you. Timeout. No, you've not been naughty. Sending you a message now, Jovanovic, with iOS code. You should get a on your Twitch screen in the top right. You should get a bump if you've got a message. I think the bottom right is the whisper menu. It's just shown as a speech bubble next to the chat. When will Smash Up be available on Steam again? Soon. As I was talking about previously, the publishing has gone to Asmodee. It's not being done in-house with Nomad. So the whole marketing process of when the game is complete, when we've got the final build, when the game's going to hit the stores, that is for Asmodee to decide. But I believe they will be making an announcement soon that will give you a date or a window. So that should be within the next few weeks, hopefully. But that's what I've been essentially doing in the past months, is making sure, yes. Glad that's downloaded. What we'll do is we'll do a third draw then and see who wants what. You found the emotes. I think the best one I've managed previously is the Creeper, which is a series of S's somewhere. Maybe not. How do I... What was I doing? Oh, it's 3 big S's and then 3 little S's. Yeah, so when Asmodee took over publishing for Smash Up, it was taken out of early access but not into release because there were certain ways that the game needed some attention. So the time that it's spent off Steam, it's been hammered. It has been given lots of TLC in both UI, mechanics, play, looks, the whole thing. When the game comes out, you will see the difference, you'll notice the difference, and you'll see why we've done what we've done with it. Smash Up won't release with more content, but I believe there are conversations going on in the upper management over what should come next if the game is successful and it's something that we should move forward with. I hope it is, because I love the game and it is fun to work on. Playing games for a living is always fun. Playing games that you like for a living is just dream job. Not too late for a giveaway. Just in time, if anything. How is he able to function without you, Danny? You should see me leaving the home when Danny is not in it. I am super OCD about leaving the home. I think constantly that there is going to be some form... Probably, if you hear when I was talking about my nightmares as a child in apocalyptic worlds where I drowned, I was set on fire, an asteroid hit the Earth. When I leave my house and there's no one in it, I assume the bath is running, the cooker is on, the door is open, there's some sort of... Like, I don't use straighteners, but I've left the straighteners on. That kind of thing. And having a wife who is typically in the house when I'm leaving for work means I don't have to worry about it. But when she's out for whatever reason and I have to lock the door, it takes me about 5 minutes to get away from the house. When I drive to work and I park up in my car, I don't have a parking space, but the car park that we use, I walk away from my car and then I walk back to check that the handbrake's on, and normally, or parking brake if you're American, and I will look at it and I will say to myself, handbrake, 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 to try and get it into my head that I have a memory of me looking at the handbrake so my car doesn't roll down a hill. I will then walk away from my car again and think, was I actually looking at my handbrake, or am I just so used to the routine of saying handbrake, handbrake, handbrake that I look at my car and say it without actually looking at my handbrake? And then I have to go back to my car and check again. It's a nightmare. Oh yeah, I once sent a friend back. This was many moons ago. And to be fair on me that time, I did use the cooker in the morning. Before I worked with Nomad Games, I worked at a bookies or a betting shop where people go to gamble. It's harrowing. Never enter one. Never work for one. And before that, I worked in a call center. So this was about 6 years ago. 7 years ago. I made rice for my lunch, just boiled rice. I put a load of ketchup in it, and I closed it, and I took that into work, and because I'd used the cooker, I had to message a friend who was in college at the time and say, can you go to my home, because my kitchen backed onto a walkway, and look through my kitchen window and check that I've not left the cooker on. And he wasn't free, so he sent his partner, who was free, who relayed a message to him, who relayed a message to me that the cooker wasn't on. Right, I can cook. That's the thing. I love cooking. I'm just a bit strange. Admittedly so. Right, enough about me. Let's do another giveaway. Right, Ivanovic, you got your iOS code working. Woohoo! Geeky Chappy, you've got your... you can now. I've always been able to cook. You've got your Fighting Fantasy for Steam. We'll do one more giveaway, and it's, again, undesignated. Whoever wins can pick what they want. So that's Talisman base game or an expansion. Horus Heresy base game or expansion, Fighting Fantasy Legends, Land Solitaire, Backgammon Blitz, and hopefully on some stream upcoming in a few weeks, we'll be able to give out some Smash Up goodies too. That'd be nice. But I'm not promising that one. That's just me wishing. It will be released for Android, Rodrigo. Android Dragon expansion? Is that what we're on about? Sorry, I've been rambling and no one stopped me, so I don't know if Android means Dragon expansion or Fighting Fancy or Smash Up. All of our games, I think, yeah, all of our games are out on Android or will be coming out on Android when they're released. From what I know, UK ketchup isn't as sweet as US ketchup. Just a lot of UK things aren't as sweet as their American counterparts. I know I tried to cook it with ketchup on top. To be fair, it's not as if I put dry rice into a bowl with ketchup. It was ketchup that had already been cooked, and I was just merely warming it up, and I thought that ketchup would be a suitable liquidy substance to transmit heat to all the rice and make sure it was properly warmed up. Yeah, giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway now. You're annoying me. 20 seconds. Something like that. Right, we haven't got any new entries. Spiral Mind was the last person to comment that was new. Not ketchup that has been cooked. It was fresh ketchup on cooked rice. Thank you, Neo Gambit. Right, winner is. I'm going to do that so I know on the stream that I've already said the winner is, because I'm nuts. And then we'll pick a winner. Da, 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 da. New winner is Creatures. Is that the person that's just said, am I too late? And then Cheshire Cat said, nope, last one in is typically the person who wins. Some things don't change. Congratulations, Creature. I think that's how I'm saying your name. Thank you for continuing the torch for last in to be a winner. What do you want? I'm sure someone won something last week that never claimed it. Good old Steve Bornheim. I'm sure we drew his name out of the hat. Yeah. We drew his name out of the hat and he never got back to us. Can I get the Horus Heresy on Steam? You certainly can. Is it just the base game or is it an expansion of any kind that you're after? Just the base game, that's fine. I think this is the right folder. Oh, and I'm about to whisper that code to you. Whisper, whisper, whisper. And there you go. Creator. If you go onto Steam, on the libraries page in the bottom left, it'll say add game and then it'll say add Steam code or something or other. Just follow that path there. And that's our last giveaway for this week. There won't be any Thursday stream tomorrow just because we're in that period where everyone's on holidays, which is why we're doing a Wednesday stream. But next week we will be back with another Dragons stream. And it'll be 5 PM UK time on Thursday. If you want to join in, be around at 5 o'clock. And I think that's it. I think that's everything for this. I'm glad that you just don't stay quiet because it keeps me active, stops me getting bored. Back in the early days of our Twitch career, before we had a massive 180 followers, there was a lot of time of just sitting there and like twiddling thumbs. But you guys keep us company, and we are very grateful for it. No worries. Sorry that I was so late getting here. 45 minutes in traffic. I don't think I've been 45 minutes on the stream. I'll stream our games. I'm also happy to stream Siege. 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 Anyway, yeah. Talisman. I've not been given any marketing points. Talisman, Dragon expansion, there will be news on that very soon. Smash Up, there will be news on that very soon. Fighting Fantasy is out, doing well. Thank you very much for supporting. It's dead good. It's out in Japanese, French, English, on iOS, yeah. iOS, Android, and Steam. I think that's about it. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us. It's been fun as always, even though I wasn't here for the majority of it. We'll see you next week. Take care.